Hello, good evening, powerful women of abundance. Good evening, good evening. Lordine Jean-Francois here, Women Empowerment Coach, and your host of Love and Light with Lou. We're getting started a little bit late today. As a matter of fact, I am going to be pushing back Love and Light with Lou to 7:45 starting next week. And I'll be sure to um, post that in the group so everyone is aware of that. All right. Affirming everyone as well. So excited to be here. Always so happy to join with you all on this Good Wednesday. So I don't know about y'all, but it's been hot. It's been hot where I'm at, where I am. I'm in Lanham, Maryland, and it was almost 90 degrees today. And so I was pretty excited about that. I don't really care for the heat too much, but I'm excited about spring being here and even summer and all the fun we get being outside and picnics and outdoor concerts and all that jazz, right? So today got me really excited for what's to come, So affirming everyone is having a great week, and that you have made time for yourself, right? I start almost every live with this reminder: self-care is the best care. All right, so make sure that you are showing up for you and taking care of you. All right, so today we are talking about our triggers, right? Or triggers, how triggers can actually help us do the work. All right, so often when I work with my clients, what comes up quite a bit is this fear around feeling, right? This fear around feeling, primarily this fear that if we really allow ourselves to feel our feelings, that we're going to be so overwhelmed by our emotions to the point of completely losing control, right? So because of that belief, many people tend to suppress or repress or avoid dealing with their emotions. Now, the thing is, though, quite the opposite is the case, right? When we don't allow ourselves to feel our emotions, right? When we don't allow that energy and motion to flow, right? We are more likely to lose control, right? We are more likely to give our power away when we're not actively making it a point to feel our feelings, right? So the very thing we think is working in our favor when it comes to our feelings, right, is the very thing that makes us more susceptible to being triggered and more susceptible to losing control. Okay? Right? So that's a myth that I want to debunk here, that not feeling your feelings, right? Not feeling your feelings is what could lead to you losing control, what could lead to experiencing depression and anxiety, right? It's the resistance, the avoidance of feeling natural emotions, right? Hey, Miss, it's the avoidance of feeling natural emotions that can really create a situation where we're out of control, where we're not able to master our emotions and make conscious and make conscious decisions about the way that we respond to our life and the challenges that come up for us. Okay. All right, so for those of you who do not know me, I am Lordine Jean-Francois, licensed clinician, women empowerment coach, and the host of Love and Light with Lou. Hello, Christian, very good to see you. Thank you for being on. And this is Love and Light with Lou, where we connect every Wednesday to discuss all things women empowerment and self-mastery, right? Really leaning into our emotions and allowing them to work for us the way they're intended to, right? Instead of avoiding them and suppressing them or repressing them. All right. So today we are talking about having gratitude for our triggers, right? And that might sound a little counterintuitive or antithetical to what even therapists sometimes teach, right? Or advise, right? Control your emotions or regulate your emotions, manage your emotions, right? Or avoid your triggers, right? And so this is different because I'm saying welcome your triggers, right? Welcome your triggers, and for very specific reasons, right? So here are the reasons why we want to welcome our triggers. Triggers help us do the emotional and spiritual work that we are here to do to elevate ourselves beyond where we currently are, right? Triggers help us expand, right? They help us expand by showing us where we need to heal, right? What wounds need our attention? What emotional scars need our tender, loving care, right? So when we're triggered, or I'll even use the word activated because sometimes the word trigger is triggering for people. When we're activated, right, what's being revealed to us is that there is still some work to be done, right? There is some healing that needs to take place, because if that was not the case, right, then we wouldn't be susceptible to those triggers, right? So oftentimes when we are triggered, anger tends to be the emotion that comes up, right? Anger is that primary emotion that we normally show when we're feeling triggered. But oftentimes what's underneath that emotion is sadness or frustration or feeling lonely, right? Or fear, right? Fear of judgment, right? Fear of criticism, right? Or just feeling like we're being treated unfairly, right? So when we're triggered and anger comes up, it tells us that there's an unmet need, right? There's something that we need or something that we want that we're not receiving, or maybe a boundary has been violated, right? So when we're triggered, triggers give us information, right? They tell us again, like what areas still need healing, what emotional needs still need healing, right? But they also tell us what we need, right? They also tell us that there is a need in the moment that is not being met, whether it's a need for connection, a need for satisfaction, or a need for safety. Okay, the one or all three or two, right, of those basic human needs. Okay, all right. So another reason to be thankful for our triggers, right? How triggers help us do our emotional work. They give us an opportunity to let suppressed energy flow, right? The reason why we're triggered is because we oftentimes avoid, suppress, and repress our emotions. It's the reaction that many of us have to feeling uncomfortable, unpleasant emotion, right? So when you're triggered, what's happening is it's not that situation that's causing the reaction, right? What's causing the reaction is the repressed energy that needs to come up, that needs to be released, that needs to flow, right? So when triggers present themselves, when we feel ourselves feeling activated by triggers, that's an opportunity for us to allow ourselves to feel, to allow that energy to move, so we can elevate our consciousness and our awareness to the truth that we are more than our emotions. We're more than our thoughts, and we're more than the situations that come and go in our lives, right? So triggers provide an opportunity for us to release suppressed and repressed energy, okay? And that's the spiritual work, right? That's the spiritual work. We're here to elevate our conscious awareness to the truth of who we really are. So when you're triggered, you have an experience, you feel the emotion, you get through that emotion, there's a realization that you come to. Wow, I am bigger than this, right? I'm bigger than these feelings. Who I am, myself, the context of who I am is bigger than the content, right? Right? The spiritual being that I am is bigger than the physical experience, the human experience that I'm having on this physical plane. Okay? So triggers help us elevate, thank you, Ms. Elevate our awareness to the truth of who we really are, right? That we are not our emotions, we have emotions. That we are not our thoughts, we have thoughts. That we are not our bodies, we have bodies, okay? All right? And thirdly, triggers give us an opportunity. The third way that triggers help us do our emotional, spiritual work, triggers give us the opportunity to practice being responsive instead of being reactive. All right? When we are reactive, we're responding from our ego selves, right? Past conditioning, past traumas, limiting beliefs, right? Faulty core beliefs that we have, right? That's what creates reactivity, or what causes reactivity. It's just the unconscious programming. The unconscious programming that takes over when we're in a triggering, stressful, overwhelming situation. Right? So what triggers allow for, they allow an opportunity for us to respond, right, to our emotions, right, instead of reacting. So what does it mean to respond? It means, and we talked about this, I believe it was last week, it means to become the observer, right? It means to become the observer. It means to respond from a place of awareness, taking in the totality of a situation instead of acting purely off of emotion, reacting purely off of emotion. Okay, so triggers give us an opportunity to work on responding to life circumstances instead of reacting from previous programming, unprocessed traumas, etc. All right, so how do you know when you're being triggered or activated? Here are some ways to realize that you're being triggered or activated, or things to look for. You have a strong emotional reaction that seems disproportionate in relation to what has caused it. Okay, it seems your reaction seems a little bit extreme compared to what has actually transpired. Okay. There's an intense feeling of anger, right, which I mentioned earlier, like really intense anger to the point of rage even, all right? Physical symptoms present themselves, like anxiety or stress, okay? The fight or flight response kicks in, right? So you're feeling really overwhelmed, again, like you want to fight, flee, right, or freeze. Your adrenaline level rises, so you may notice your heart's beating faster, right? Your palms might get sweaty, right? You're having a hard time thinking, concentrating, right? And then you may even have flashbacks, right, to previous memories or traumatic experiences that you've had, right? So these are the ways that you know, these are the things to look for, right? These are the things that indicate that you've been triggered or activated, all right? All right, so 3 questions. Here are 3 questions to ask yourself when you've been triggered or activated, okay? And make sure to take these down, right? Because this is the work, right? This is the reflection. This is the pausing, the slowing things down, getting curious about what's coming up for you so that you can make a conscious decision, right? Being the observer, right? To respond in a different way, right? When and if a similar situation presents itself in the future, okay? All right, so question number 1, what emotion am I feeling? All right, and beyond anger, right? Go a little deeper, right? Are you sad? Are you afraid? Are you lonely? Are you bored, right? What emotion am I feeling beyond anger? And you acknowledge the anger too, right? But you want to tune in and figure out, what emotion am I feeling? What softer emotion are you feeling that sometimes is hard to express because of fear of vulnerability or rejection, okay? Or fear of being hurt, okay? So ask yourself, what am I feeling? Secondly, how did I interpret what happened, okay? right? Because the filters through which we see the world, the filters through which we see our experiences, the stories we tell ourselves, right? The stories our minds make up sometimes can really exacerbate situations, right? Because what you tell yourself is going to either intensify how you're feeling, right? Or bring you to a place of calm, or at least get you to a point where you're starting to calm down, to regulate, right? So the interpretation matters. What story are you telling yourself about what just happened that could actually be exacerbating the emotions that you're having in this moment, okay? Be mindful of the stories you're telling yourself, okay? And thirdly, lastly, what do I need, right? What do I need? As I mentioned, triggers let us know oftentimes that there is an unmet need. Maybe you need space. Maybe you need a hug. Maybe you need to have a conversation. Maybe you just want to feel connected, right? So what do I need? Ask yourself, what need do I have right now? Okay? All right, so those are the 3 questions. I'll go through them again. 3 questions to ask when you're feeling triggered or activated. What emotion am I feeling? How did I interpret the situation, right? What story am I telling myself? And lastly, what do I need, right? What need do I have in this moment? Is the need for connection? Is the need for safety, right? What do I need? All right. Now, why is this important? Why is this important? It's important because if we are reluctant or avoid experiencing our emotions, right? If we avoid dealing with our emotions as they come up when we're triggered, then we're not allowing ourselves to get to a point of self-mastery, right? The ability to effectively be with, and move through our emotions, okay? So by not allowing yourself to feel what comes up for you when you're activated or triggered, right? You're not giving yourself the opportunity to learn how to effectively manage and deal with what you're feeling, to deal with what's coming up for you, okay? All right? So if we're avoiding, right, then we're moving away from the opportunity to experience self-mastery, the ability to become the observer, the conscious observer of what you're experiencing and making conscious decisions on how to respond, right? Responding in a way that moves you closer to the vision, the goals that you have for your life, all right? All right, so be thankful for your triggers, right? Because the way we respond to them can move us closer to self-mastery, okay? Move us closer to self-mastery, all right? I hope this was helpful. Always a pleasure to connect with you all. And if you're interested in receiving any specialized support with any of the concepts that we talk about here on Love and Light with Lou, and specifically, if you want to learn how to become your own master, right? To learn how to effectively move with and through your emotions so you can use them for what they're intended for, right? To guide you along your path, right? The path that you're here to fulfill. You can shoot me a message on whichever platform you're viewing this video on. You can also connect with me on abundantconsulting.org. That's my website, www.abundantconsulting.org. And schedule a self-empowerment breakthrough session so we can connect and see how I might be able to support you. All right. In the meantime, you take care of yourself. And until we meet again, this has been Love and Light with Lou, Lordine Jean-Francois. Peace.